Hey everybody, welcome back to Home Gym Hacks and Reviews. Today I will finish up my Powertec Levergym only series with a lower body workout. Let's get to it. In part 1 of my Powertec Levergym only series, I did an upper body push workout. In part 2, I did an upper body pull workout. Today I'll be doing a lower body workout, which will include calves, hamstrings, and quadriceps. As I mentioned before, I start every day by hanging out with these two greyhounds, and they're out of control. I've called Cesar Millan for some help, but in the meantime, I'll do the McGill Big 3 to help warm up my lower back, and then I'll move upstairs to the bonus room to continue the warm-up process. Here's a closer look at these two. That's Mr. Rhyme Time. That's Princess Fiona. These dogs can run 40 miles an hour, which is pretty crazy. I spend a little more time warming up on a lower body day, so when I get up here, I'll do about a half a mile on the Rogue Echo bike. I'll move over to the Titan Fitness HP&D and just do about 20 reps with 50 pounds. And then I'll move over here to the Powertec Hyper Extension Crunch Bench and do about 15 to 20 repetitions for hip extensions. For today's Levergym only workout, I will be using a couple of additional implements, including the 12-11 wedges, the Grizzly ankle straps, some pre-cut stall mats, a calf block, and the squat bar that comes with the Levergym. As I've mentioned before, my training program is largely influenced by Dante Trudel's DC training, so I'm going to start with calves, then move on to hamstrings, and then finish up with quads. My first exercise is a one-leg standing calf raise. I have the arms set up so they're moving independently of one another. I'll hold on to this hook up here just for balance. I'll start with my weak side first. And I have a 2x4 stacked on some cut stall mats just to help me increase the depth of the stretch. And then of course do the other side. While working one leg at a time does take extra time, it is beneficial for something like calves, where for a lot of people, one calf is a little bit larger than the other. I'm continuing with the warm-up process just by adding an extra 25 to each leg. And while I've said before that I don't think these hooks serve much of a purpose, from time to time they do come in handy for something like this to just help keep me balanced. Here's a close-up of the calf block that I use. I just have the 2x4 resting on cut stall mats just so that it doesn't slip. And then I have a piece of sandpaper tape on top of that, which has lasted for over 2 years. Again, just to help with grip while I'm doing the exercise. I typically don't use straps, but I will for an exercise like this where there's a lot of time under tension and I don't want my wrists or my forearms to give out. So I can use some of these old school Harbingers. I also have something here called Cobra grips. These are okay. The only issue that I found with these is this gets in the way when I'm trying to write numbers in the logbook. They are pretty good for pull-ups and for shrugs. So I'm gonna do 2 work sets and then I'll do 1 back off set. And with calves, as I've mentioned before, I get a good stretch. I move pretty explosively on the way up. I get a good squeeze, and then I lower slowly. So I'll hope to get about 12 repetitions on my first set, maybe 10 repetitions on my second set, and then I'll do a back off set more explosively, and my rep count may be as high as 15 or 20. And I won't show these the whole way through because it's not a very exciting exercise to watch. Of course, you can put the squat bar on the lever arms and do calf raises that way. I just don't like loading my spine, so that's why I choose to do it this way, in addition to really focusing on one leg at a time. The one leg standing leg curl is my first hamstring exercise. I have 2 pre-cut stall mats stacked on top of each other just so that I can elevate myself and my foot can swing through without hitting the ground. I have a chain in place. I have 20 pounds on the weight horns. And I'm starting with my weak side, and the leg that's actually doing the exercise first is pressed up against the squat bar. The squat bar is just above my knee on my lower thigh. I'm using the lever arms to kind of brace myself. And this feels really effective. I guess the only real downside is that you have to do one leg at a time, so it takes a little bit longer, but you can really focus on the development of each hamstring. Now I'll switch over. Here's a close-up of how I set up this exercise. I did 2 warm-up sets, one at 20 pounds and then one at 40 pounds. And now it's time for my work set, which I have at 60 pounds. I like this exercise a lot because it reminds me of either the hammer strength or Cybex, one leg standing leg curl. So here I am replicating that exercise with the good old Levergym. And I'll do higher reps for this exercise just so I don't irritate my hamstring muscle. It's 12. Now I'll switch over, and even if my strong side, which is my right side, can do more than 15, I'll stop at 15. I rested a couple of minutes. Now it's time for work set number 2. And I won't show these the whole way through because they're not very exciting to look at. But after I get done doing these 2 heavy work sets, I'll do my back off set with lighter weight and a little more explosively. Here's my extreme stretch for hamstrings. I'll hold this for 60 to 90 seconds. I'm really excited to show you my quad exercise on the Powertec Levergym. I figured out a way to make the Levergym Squat feel much more effective and more lower back friendly, and that's by setting it up very similar to the Powertec Levergym Squat calf machine. I've placed my 12-11 wedges against a couple of 2x4s just so that they sit out far enough. There is the possibility for those 2x4s to buckle, so you may want to find a better setup than what I'm showing here. I have my squat bar in place, and then I have this additional pipe right here, which came from a Solo Flex, and that's just an additional safety built in. Now this setup is not as good as this machine. I will tell you that now, but if you don't have the funds or the space for this, this might be your next best option. First, I want to show you what this exercise looks like without any weight. So I'll pull this pin out and set it against the arm. And what I want to try to do is keep my back perpendicular to the ground, and I'm going to push against those wedges up and away. And so if you've seen me use the Powertec Levergym Squat calf machine, you'll notice that this movement looks very similar as my feet are at an angle and my feet are out in front of me as opposed to directly below me. So I think this is more lower back friendly. Now for my first warm-up set, 2 45s. And again, in case something bad happens, I have that Solo Flex pin right there where if I fail, boom, I'll stop right here. And as you can see, I'm fine. And this feels pretty good. Surprisingly good for being a hack or a modification. Continuing on with the warm-up process, make sure that you have that pin that goes through both of the arms in place, just so that you don't place any undue stress on the squat bar. At this point, I'm more than halfway through my workout, which means I finished my intra-workout protein drink. Now I've switched over to Hydrocharge, which is a caged muscle supplement, and a little bit of caffeine in here. So continuing with the warm-up process, 4 45s, and this is the weight where I would start to feel nervous if I had my feet directly below me, but with this setup, I'm not worried about tweaking my lower back. And 5 for that warm-up set. Here's an older video of me using the Powertec Levergym Squat calf machine, and I wanted to include this so you could see how similar the movement looks between the 2 squats. Now it's time for my first work set, 4 45s, 2 25s. I have plates on my weight horns on the actual frame of the machine, and I also have plates back there on the pulley weight horn just to help stabilize the machine. But here we go. These 12-11 wedges are made in the USA with US steel. I got mine from Amazon. They have recently undergone a design change. Mine have holes in them. The new ones are completely solid. There's a 17-degree angle with these, and they have an 800-pound weight capacity. The angle of the platform on the Powertec Levergym Squat calf machine is 25 degrees, so this hack comes very close to being the same angle as the actual machine. I don't want to stop at number 13. We'll kick it up to 14. Here's my second work set, 645s, and this is the most weight that I've ever had on the Powertec Levergym Squat calf machine, so it holds up pretty well on this exercise too. Lightweight. And I wouldn't dare try this with my feet underneath of me. But there's a great amount of hamstring activation here. And I'll stop there just to be on the safe side. Now I'm going to perform my 20 rep Widowmaker set. I'm switching exercises because my lower body is so fried from my previous set, and also just to add variety. So my feet will be directly below me on this exercise, and I'll be holding up the squat bar with my shoulders in this fashion. I like this because there's no loading on the spine. It may tax the lower back a little bit, but not bad at all. And I'll start with no weight at all, just so you can see the way that I'm doing this. I have the pin pressed here directly against the frame. And my goal here is to hit my quadriceps a little more. And then when I'm done, just throw the pin back in, and now I'll continue with the warm-up process. Continuing with the warm-up process, you'll find that this is a lot easier and a lot more comfortable than using a barbell. Probably not as effective, but safer. And here's my final quad set. This is my Widowmaker set, so I'm going to try to get 20 reps or more, and I save this for the very end of the workout because when this is done, I have nothing left. And my hamstrings right now are on fire from that squat exercise with the wedges, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. But we're going to shoot for 20. One of the biggest downsides to a front squat is that the upper body and the lower back will give out long before the quads give out. But I've found that with this setup using the Levergym and the squat bar, my upper body and lower back don't get nearly as fatigued, and my lower body gets an ample amount of stimulation. With this front squat exercise and then using the wedges for the back squat, I feel that I've made the Levergym even more versatile because now I think I have two really quality lower body exercises in addition to all of the quality upper body exercises the Levergym offers. 22. I'll stop there. That was a good set. And now I'll perform my extreme stretch for quads. Here's my extreme stretch for quad. I'll hold this for 60 to 90 seconds. And I log these stretches just like I do my other exercises. So when I get to the point where I can't handle this anymore, I'll write down that time. So it might be 70 seconds. And then the next time I do this extreme stretch, I'll shoot for 5 seconds more or 10 seconds more. I just take it to a position of mild discomfort and hold it there. And once that becomes comfortable, I'll push it just a little bit harder and a little bit farther. But I don't want this to become painful. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this Powertec Levergym only series helpful. If you did, please consider liking this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. You can find me on Instagram under Home Gym Hacks and Reviews. And remember, if your equipment lacks, I got the hacks. Take care, everyone.